Hello listeners, welcome to the AIR Tezu Yuva Vani program on the International Youth Day. I am Siwani Pul from the Lohit Youth Libraries. With me are
Amina Halai,
Bethem Marai,
Solina Kambrai,
Nishanlu,
Sedanso
and Bahailu Rangmang.
August 12 is celebrated all over the world as International Youth Day, a day to remember with gratitude our nation's pride. Youth is the hope of mankind, vital partners for society to progress to a better tomorrow. Youth have idealism, enthusiasm, and the power to bring in changes to check the harmful forces on our environment. That is why bodies like United Nations and the socially committed NGOs are recognizing and honoring the power of youth. The theme of this year's Youth Day is Green Skills for Youth towards a sustainable world. As we all know, the quality of life of an ordinary citizen in his environment is far too poor than what it was 50 or 100 years ago. True, science has brought us several advancements into our life. You can hear me in America now, but that was unimaginable a century ago. But we also realize that today our air, water, soil, and the food we eat are all of a very poor quality than it was during those times. In this Yuva Vani, we bring to you stories of some inspiring youth. Could you ever imagine a youth can save a river from becoming a garbage drain? That's what Sneha Sahi, a college student from Baroda in Gujarat, did. It brought her the honor of being a UN Young Climate Champion from India. Listen to her story from Bahailu Rangmang. The script is by Manisha Halai.
Friends, how many of our homes are located near a drain or a nala? If so, would you be willing to get the nala cleaned up? Yet, this is what a 22-year-old college student Sneha Sahi of Baroda in Gujarat got ready to do a few years ago. And the result? In 2021, she was declared one of India's 17th UN Young Climate Champions. Her extraordinary spirited work resulted in cleaning up plastic waste in a river near her college and saving the local biodiversity. Sneha Sahi grew up in the beautiful city of Baroda, Gujarat. As her father is an Air Force officer, she regularly used to visit Northeast India from her childhood. Thus, she developed a keen interest in nature and loved going to national parks. There was the Bukhi River that ran through her college campus. The river had turned into a nala and a dumping yard. People used to throw all the garbage into this river. It was 7.5 kilometers long. Earlier, this river was the home for crocodiles, turtles, insects, and many other creatures. When the river got polluted, no crocodiles could be seen anymore. In 2019, Sneha became a member in UNEP's Plastic Tide Turner Challenge in her college. The program aims to promote to reduce plastic waste in their lives and communities at large. Can't we save this river? Thought Sneha. And she motivated others to join her. And they decided to clean up the polluted river. Sneha and team worked day and night clearing garbage and appealing to the neighbors not to dump plastic waste in the river. They had to face several challenges to create awareness in them. The volunteers went on appealing about how the plastic waste can destroy our rivers and habitat. At last, Sneha's Plastic Tide Turner Challenge campaign became a success. Now locals stopped throwing plastics in the river. Instead, they enthusiastically protect the Bukhi River. Sneha is now a PhD student at EDRI in Bengaluru. Currently, she is working on to revive Thamirabani River in Tamil Nadu. Sneha's life motivates all of us in our community to feel and love our rivers and environment. We too in Tezu have the Tezu Nala River. Shouldn't we all do something to keep the pride of Tezu clean? Let's stop throwing plastics and other junk into our river. And let's join hands to make our town an enchanting place for every visitor.
August for Indians shall always be a time to salute the great martyrs, thousands of freedom fighters who gave their lives struggling to win India freedom. Amina Halai brings you the astonishing story of an 18-year-old girl, Usha Mehta of Bombay, a voice behind secret Congress radio of the Quit India movement. Script by Siwani Pul.
August month for Indians shall always be a memorable time. In August, we pay our respects to thousands of young patriots who laid down their lives to free India from the British oppression. Several other youth braved the British during Quit India movement or joining Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose INA Azad Hind Fauj. During Second World War, the common Indian people came to know of INA's march to India only because of an 18-year-old girl from Mumbai, Usha Mehta. It was she who ran the secret Congress radio in 1942, cleverly escaping the British spies for over 4 months. Born on March 25, 1920, Usha started participating in the freedom movement even as a child. She and other children distributed secret bulletins and publications, visited relatives in the prisons, and carried messages to these prisoners. Usha grew up influenced by Gandhiji and became his follower. She took up Gandhian lifestyle, wearing only khadi clothes and keeping away from all luxuries. She remained unmarried all her life. In 1942, she gave up her college studies to join Quit India movement. Even though Gandhiji and many other senior leaders were arrested during the Quit India movement, Usha Mehta and many other young leaders went into hiding, and they started the secret Congress radio to broadcast true news of the war. Britain was facing repeated defeats in Europe and in Southeast Asia, but British did not allow this news to reach Indian people. Young Usha became the broadcaster of Congress radio. On 27 August 1942, Indian people were thrilled to listen to her voice.
This is Congress Radio calling on 42.34 from somewhere in India.
Her news broadcast went on daily in Hindi and English, bringing more and more news to the common people. Even though the British police tried very much to locate and capture the Congress radio, Usha Mehta and her friends cleverly escaped every day to move to a faraway place. She moved about dressed as a pregnant woman. She was carrying the radio set on her stomach. The Congress radio station carried all sorts of news. Many prominent leaders also delivered radical speeches in this broadcast. Very worried, the British government started trying all means to locate the secret radio. On November 14, 1942, Usha Mehta was arrested only because of some Indian informed the British police. But she managed to broadcast one last inspiring program even on that day. Inside the jail, the British government tried to tempt Usha Mehta.
We will give you a chance to do your higher studies abroad. Will you tell us about other freedom fighters?
But Usha refused to give any details and chose to remain in jail for 4 years till April 1946. After independence, Usha Mehta continued her university studies and rose to become a highly respected professor in Bombay University. In 1998, she was conferred the Padma Vibhushan, India's second highest civilian honors. Life of young Usha Mehta will always be an inspiration for us for her idealism, patriotism, and indomitable courage to do always the right thing.
Discrimination of one human being against another is a curse of mankind, be it by gender, caste, religion, color, or race. Yet, even the so-called developed nations practiced it widely till a few decades ago, and the struggle to change can come even inside a bus. Here is Solina Kambrai bringing us the inspiring story of a black woman from America, Rosa Parks.
Let us dive into a story that changed history. Today, we are taking you back to December 1955. In the heart of Montgomery, Alabama, USA, where a brave and determined woman took a stand, or rather a seat. Rosa Parks, an American black woman who was heading home from work, tired after a long day. She boarded a city bus like any other day, unaware that this ordinary ride would become extraordinary. Little did she know that her actions that day would ignite a revolution. As the bus continued its route, it began to fill up with passengers. When the seats for white passengers filled up, the driver ordered Rosa and 3 other black American passengers to give up their seats. They were supposed to move to the back of the bus where the colored section was located. But Rosa had enough of the unfair and unjust racial segregation on the buses. She decided to stay right in the front in the seat reserved for white passengers. She was tired of being treated as less than equal, and she knew that enough was enough. Her refusal to give up her seat sparked a chain reaction that changed everything. The driver was furious and had her arrested. News of Rosa Parks' bravery spread like wildfire through the Afro-American community. They began the Montgomery bus boycott. For 381 days, black Americans in Montgomery refused to ride the buses. They chose to walk, share cars, or find other means of transport. Their unity and determination sent a powerful message to the world that the blacks in America would no longer tolerate discrimination and segregation. It caught the attention of the entire nation, a shining spotlight on the civil rights movement by the American blacks. Finally, in 1956, the Supreme Court of USA ruled that segregation on public buses was unconstitutional. The bus boycott was a grand victory for the black people. Rosa Parks had become a symbol of hope and change, her name forever aged in history. So listeners, remember Rosa Parks and what came out of her simple act on that bus. Let her story inspire us to stand up against injustice and to be fearless in the face of adversity. Here's proof to believe that one person's courage can spark a movement that can change the world.
How easily we all throw away things like clothes we don't wish to wear after some time. Now, we all know that these go to garbage dump and pollute Mother Earth. Yet, most of us don't care. But some like young climate champion Kriti Tula of Delhi do. Hear about Kriti Tula's startup Doodlage, which shows us how to make better use of waste cloth pieces. Script by Jeenamsi Ngadong, read out by Sedanso Yun.
Listeners, we all know we are living in an era of consumerism. Obviously, that means man is imposing today a very big burden on Mother Nature. Fortunately, a large number of youth have become aware of this threat to our environment because of surplus items in our daily life. Can we enjoy the benefits of consumerism while still preserving the environment? How? Kriti Tula, a Delhi woman, is one who had tried to find a way out. Founder of Doodlage, a fashion design house, Kriti since 2012 has been a prominent eco-activist, raising awareness about the effect of the fashion industry on environment. Her groundbreaking work in a variety of sectors as a fight against global warming has been recognized by the United Nations. Kriti Tula was being selected as one of India's 17 UN Young Climate Champions. The United Nations Climate Campaign, We the Change, has been aiming to showcase climate solutions pioneered by young Indians as a celebration of India's climate leadership. Do you know more than 70 million trees are cut every year for plant-based fiber for making clothes? Also, 342 million barrels of oils are used to make polyester nylon for clothes. Kriti figured that not many people grasp the idea of responsible fashion and sustainability. She thought, how can we consume so much of resources that are not a necessity? She noticed that people throw away clothes easily. She started an initiative of an organic startup of responsible fashion. She felt that use of sustainable fashion will bring a positive change in people's habits. Her team started collecting waste fabric from factories across Delhi which had been rejected for minor defect. Her company Dotluch produced items saving tons of clothes from getting dumped in landfills. Kriti Tula said, I work hard to reduce my waste and help others care more about the planet by making small changes in our lifestyle. I aim to keep working and expanding the impact of what one person can do. We learn from Kriti the value of protecting the environment and practicing the principle. Live and let the environment live too. Dotluch reminds us that everyone needs a supportive environment to grow and thrive. Young idols need to understand how things can be done every day with lasting benefits rather than have a limited vision. Let's use this concept at home and nourish the environment in our activities. Kriti Tula is only a common individual, but if she could contribute to make this world a better place for tomorrow, you and I too can.
We all have some weaknesses that create a fear in our mind to do things we wish to do. But the great exhort us, convert your weakness into strength and march on. This is the message from a well-known English pop singer Usha Uttup from Bombay. She was rejected by her music teacher as having no ability to sing. Nishanlu brings us this Padma Shri awardee singer's life, a talk in Hindi.
दोस्तों, हम सभी के जीवन में किसी न किसी मोड़ में अस्वीकार का सामना करना आम बात है। असफलता के डर से हम अपने आराम भाग से बाहर निकलने में झिझकते हैं। इसका परिणाम हम अपने जीवन में विकास नहीं देख पाते हैं, लेकिन कुछ युवा में सीमाएं पार करने के लिए हिम्मत होते हैं। मशहूर पश्चिमी संगीत गायिका उषा उत्थुप ऐसी ही एक युवा महिला है। उषा का जन्म उषा अय्यर के रूप में 1947 में हुआ और वो एक साधारण तमिल ब्राह्मण परिवार में पला भरा। 10 साल की उम्र में उषा को उनके संगीत टीचर ने बोला, उषा, तुम संगीत के लिए मत आओ, इसके बाद संगीत तुम्हारे बस की बात नहीं है, तुम्हारा आवाज अजीब है। लेकिन इसने उषा को अपना सपना पूरा करने से नहीं रोका। उन्होंने 9 साल की उम्र में अंग्रेजी संगीत गाना शुरू कर दिया था। हालांकि उन्हें कभी फॉर्मल संगीत ट्रेनिंग नहीं मिला, लेकिन वो बहुत मेहनती थी। 20 साल की उम्र में उन्होंने चेन्नई के नाइट क्लबों और होटलों में गाना शुरू किया। उस समय किसी महिला का नाइट क्लब में गाना अनसुना था। अपनी सबसे अलग और दमदार आवाज के लिए जानी जाती थी। बाद में उन्हें कई जनता कार्यक्रमों में गाने का और भाग लेने के लिए देश भर से आमंत्रित किया गया। उन्होंने 1960, 1970 और 1980 के दशक में कई लोकप्रिय हिट गानों में आवाज दी। एक नाइट क्लब में उनके एक प्रदर्शन के दौरान एक फिल्म क्रू उनके गायन से बहुत प्रसन्न हो गया और उन्हें फिल्मों में गाने का मौका दिया। उषा उत्थुप न केवल तमिल और अंग्रेजी में माहिर है, बल्कि उन्होंने अन्य भाषाओं में भी गाने की चुनौती स्वीकार किया। उन्होंने 15 भारतीय भाषाओं और कई विदेशी भाषाओं में गाना गाए हैं, जैसे कि फ्रेंच, जर्मन और इटालियन। और आज उषा उत्थुप न केवल भारत में, दुनिया भर में एक मशहूर गायिका है। संगीत के क्षेत्र में उनके महान योगदान के लिए उषा उत्थुप को कई पुरस्कार दिए गए हैं, जिसमें पद्मश्री, 2011 में सबसे अच्छा गायिका का फिल्म फेयर पुरस्कार भी मिला। उन्हें आधुनिक कोलकाता का प्रतीक माना जाता है। संकल्प के बिना उषा उत्थुप इतनी दूर तक नहीं आ सकती थी। बाधाओं के बावजूद वो अपने करियर में आगे बढ़ी। उन्होंने दुनिया को यह साबित करके दिखाया है कि कुछ भी असंभव नहीं है। उनका जीवन हम सभी को याद दिलाता है कि चुनौती जिंदगी की हर मोड़ पर मौजूद है, लेकिन जिस तरह से हम इन चुनौतियों से निपटते हैं वो हमारी सफलता या विफलता को तय करता है। युवाओं के लिए उनका संदेश है, अपने सीमाओं और कमजोरी को अपनी ताकत में बदलो।
Is godliness only in going to a place of worship and we care nothing for its surroundings? What is a true duty of a devotee? The people of Varanasi had to learn this from a young lady from Nagaland. Shouldn't we too? Bethem Marai brings us the inspiring story of Tezu Tula Imsong, who showed us cleanliness is godliness.
How many of us are willing to go beyond boundaries to keep our Mother Earth safe? 1 in a million. They break the rigid barriers of society. A wonderful woman, Tezu Tula Imsong, from Nagaland, reached the historic city Varanasi. Her first visit to Holy River Ghats transformed her totally. She became a devotee not of temples but one of the cleanliness. She emerged determined to make the Ghats of Varanasi clean and safe. Tezu Tula was familiar with cleanliness ever since her childhood. In her village, Ungma, in Mokokchung district, they practice basic hygiene in daily life. The much-hyped eco-friendly practices like sanitation, water harvesting have been a way of life in her village. These very tiny habits has changed her perspective and gave her to be a power of change maker. Tezu Tula had reached Varanasi to join the NGO Sakar Seva Samiti that was engaged in grassroots work and rural initiatives in child health, sanitation and relief efforts during floods. At that time, the overall state of sanitation in Varanasi, the historic city, was pathetic. It was central visited by over 1 million pilgrims annually. So, to start that cleanliness initiative, Tezu Tula's team started to build up rapport with locals. They started small like distributing nail cutters for cutting nails in the villages along the Ghat. In October 2014, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan on the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. The Prime Minister's speech inspired Imsong and her friend Darshika Shah greatly. They determined to take up grueling tasks of cleaning up the Prabhu Ghat, one of the poorest in cleanliness, and open defecation was rampant. Imsong and her team could hardly stand in that area for seconds, but they were determined. They started cleaning the Ghat in March 2015. Over the next few days, Imsong and her team removed nearly 300 kilos of dried human waste, other garbage in intense summer heat of Varanasi. But after a week of arduous labor, Prabhu Ghat looked sparkling new. The work of Imsong got attention of Prime Minister, who appreciated her in Twitter. The tweet went viral and made more people aware of the work done by Imsong and her team. The endorsement by the Prime Minister also encouraged more people from all over country to come forward to volunteer with them. Now, bigger challenge remained. How to ensure the Ghats stay clean? After each Shramdan, the team members would speak on microphones to enlighten visitors their mission and importance of maintaining Swachhata. They started maintaining a night vigil at the Ghat. And later on, Imsong and her team even started having meals there. Yet, immediate change of open defecation by the poor people were quite a challenge. Poor rickshaw pullers earning 100 rupees daily found it hard to pay rupees 5 for one-time use of public toilets. Locals from Varanasi started appreciating work of Imsong and her team. They also started volunteering in the work. The Mala, boatmen, community who were least interested underwent a transformation. Tezu Tula Imsong is today widely known as Naga warrior and greatly respected by the local people. She has proved the youth with sincerity and determination can win over a people's doubt. Whatever be the differences in language, religion or race, such youths are one that who guides mankind to be a better tomorrow.
Listeners, we hope you enjoyed learning about the lives of these young changemakers. Shall we also not try to be like them? Do read them about in your nearest library or Bambusa Library, Tezu. With this thought in mind, we conclude this Yuva Vani program by volunteers of Lohit Youth Libraries. Thank you.